Obama recently had to file financial disclosure forms. According to the USA Today, story is right there, linked to on michaelsavage.com. Obama is now worth at least as much as $10 million. Here is a community organizer who came into office with not much money, basically a senator's salary, and now over the last 3.5 years has amassed at least $10 million. He is loaded. He's rich. Now, you keep hearing from the Democrats and their liberal hacks in the media about Mitt Romney's wealth being a problem. That because Mitt Romney made a fortune at Bain Capital, the fact that he's worth north of $200 million, the fact that Mitt Romney's a rich, successful businessman, that, quote, he's disconnected. That he somehow doesn't understand the needs and aspirations of ordinary Americans. But what they don't tell you is that Barack Obama, he's not some poor schmuck. He's not some working class stiff trying to make ends meet and pay the bills every month. He's a rich man. Now, he's not the super rich, but he's definitely part of the 1%. He's worth $10 million. Much of it has come from the royalties of his books, his autobiographies. He's also made a lot of investments. And you keep hearing about the fact that J.P. Morgan Chase, the big bank, lost $2 billion making bad bets, making bad trades. And that somehow this is outrageous. That somehow we need more financial regulations. We have to rein in J.P. Morgan Chase. My argument is the exact opposite. They lost $2 billion. They made a bad bet. Let them swallow their money. Let them swallow their losses. People make bad bets. Yet while Obama excoriates the banks, while he excoriates Wall Street, while he excoriates the so-called 1% wealthy, he's one of them. Most of his top campaign donors come from Wall Street. J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs. I can run down the whole list. He's in bed with every single one of them. In fact, much of the bailouts went to bail out his cronies and friends on Wall Street. He goes on about the rich having to pay their fair share in taxes, raise the taxes, soak the rich, raise their taxes. Mr. President, you're railing against yourself. You want to pay more in taxes? Pony up a check. Who's stopping you? Same thing with Warren Buffett and every one of these liberal shysters. You want to keep paying more? Pay. Pull out your checkbook. Who's stopping you? But you don't want to do that because you shelter your money. You hide your money. One hand washes the other. And so you find out in michaelsavage.com, just click on that story, Obama has nearly $1 million in J.P. Morgan Chase. It's like a cabal. They're all in it together. That's why the rich keep getting richer. The fat keep getting fatter, living off the fat of the land. I was having a conversation with the show's executive producer, Beowulf, just a couple hours ago. And I said, Beowulf, you don't understand what it's like here in Washington. When you're a genuine independent conservative who stands above both parties on solid eternal principles of God, country, and family, nationalism, patriotism, populism, you are disgusted at what you see happening. Because what you see happening is a massive fraud and hoax being perpetrated upon the American people. They all leave, all of these politicians, the majority of them, leave richer than when they came in. Significantly richer. They're all end up being lobbyists, working on K Street, sitting on corporate boards, doing nothing, meeting 2 or 3 times a year, and making millions of dollars because they're selling access. It's influence peddling. So you have the Republicans on the one hand, who claim to be the party of the middle class, of middle America, of the little guy. Yet they're doling out corporate welfare like there's no tomorrow, protecting their buddies on Wall Street. They're hypocrites. And you have the Democrats, led by the con man in chief, Barack Hussein Obama, going on demonizing the wealthy, demonizing the rich, demonizing the banks, demonizing Wall Street, while he's taking money from them. His top campaign bundlers from Wall Street. Most of the people he's bailed out from Wall Street. Most of the people in his administration, like the tax cheat Tim Geithner, straight from Goldman Sachs. Many Democrats come in railing against the rich, and they all end up leaving being high-powered K Street lobbyists. Or look at John Corzine, the former governor of New Jersey, making money hand over fist, working on Wall Street. The hypocrisy is unbelievable. So when Obama rails against the rich, he's railing against himself. Mr. President, if the top 1% of this country are the problem, you're the problem. You're part of the problem. You're part of the 1%. You're worth $10 million. But unlike Mitt Romney, and this is the key point, how many companies did you turn around? How much private investment and wealth did you generate? How many jobs did you create? You are essentially leveraging your influence and power in Washington for personal gain. That's why people buy your books. People don't buy Barack Obama's books because he's the second coming of Ernest Hemingway or F. Scott Fitzgerald. He's not George Orwell. He's not some brilliant literary writer. Oh, you have to read Barack Hussein Obama. You have to read those autobiographies. They'll change the way you look at the world. No. You read them to try to understand who this man is and how destructive and dangerous his policies are going to be. He is going to leave Washington a very, very, very wealthy man. And this is the problem with America, is we have two political parties who come into this city and all they think about is how much they can take, how much they can plunder, how they can appease their lobbyist friends, who then promise them lucrative consulting contracts and jobs and payoffs when they leave. They're like a gang of thieves. And you, the American people, are the victim. So now, here you have Barack Hussein Obama, as the country is literally going to hell in a handbasket. We're now record deficits, record debt. Latest unemployment figures now coming out showing the economy is now stalling and slowing down. The Eurozone is literally cracking up right in front of our eyes. Greece, bankrupt. Today there's a run on the banks. There's no more money going to Greek banks. Portugal on the verge of falling apart. Spain on the verge of falling apart. Italy on the verge of falling apart. France on the verge of falling apart. Europe is now in a Great Depression. And it's going to reverberate all over the world. And yet, what does the dear leader do? When in trouble, when there's crisis, you go on The View. You talk to 4 or 5 bimbos about popular culture and what you like to eat and how you like to dress, and they just giggle and laugh and praise the president, almost kneeling at his feet, telling him how great he is with the halo on his head. So here is Barbara Walters, the doyenne of liberal journalism, saying, you know, Mr. President, people think that Mitt Romney is too wealthy. Do you think that makes him out of touch? Boys, roll the clip.
There are some critics who say that Mr. Romney is a rich man who is out of touch. Is that accurate?
Yeah, my sense is he loves his family. I think he's been very successful, and we should applaud success in this country. But he has a different vision about how to move the country forward.
You're not a rich man, Mr. President. What, he's rich and you're not? The hypocrisy is mind-numbing.